This one ends where we all say, keep flipping together in unison. I look forward to the part of the podcast where you guys are talking into the microphone like this because you can't see, so you're just talking into the camera.
Is this thing on?
The red carpet.
You just went mute, Johnny.
Couldn't hear you.
Wouldn't be an episode without Johnny having a technical glitch these days.
How about I don't push the big giant button that says mute?
Maybe you can drop my origin story this time, Wes.
Yeah, maybe. Is there a way?
Or not.
Or not.
Nobody wants to see that crap.
Stuart,
I almost took that personally for you.
Here you go. There is that. I mean, yeah, I could, but, you know. Let's see. I guess we need to say bye, right? We need to say bye.
Y'all
it's
come
like
back now, you hear?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like the end of Ferris Bueller, you know? Like, you guys are still here?
And why y'all here?
Get out.
Keep flipping.
We'll put our hands in. Keep flipping.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. Gentlemen, here we go again.
What's going on, guys? Episode 65. Get your AARP cards ready, guys, because this is going to be a good one. Our baby is officially a senior citizen.
I went ahead and booked a hotel room in Greenville. I can cancel it up till the day, so I thought I'd go in and book one. How much do you think the Hampton Inn in Greenville would cost?
$46.
Oh, no. Higher. It was $198 a night for the Hampton Inn in Greenville. I don't know if there's something going on. I mean, I feel like I'm at the Ritz.
Why don't you just drive up and back? Why are you wanting to go up there and stay?
Probably because if I'm going to go, I'm going to be there for the whole weekend and hang out. That's the fun part, being there at night. So, I don't know for sure what I'll do yet, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and book a room. But that's the one where everybody's staying. The word must have gotten out that there's going to be a bunch of resellers in town, so Hampton up their rates. So
play a little price gouging game going on, huh?
I guess they didn't.
They knew Stuart was coming, so hit it, right?
Yeah. So celebrity's going to be in town, so let's raise our rates.
Well, while being a lower view count video, the watch time is longer than usual. So
it's
those that watched enjoyed.
Quality over quantity.
That's it. That is it.
Speaking of channels and stuff, Breeze Flippers, our buddy Dave Beckham, he's had a surge in his subscriptions. He's up to 496. He said he got 75 subscriptions in one day. He said he doesn't know.
Yeah, his Chatgpt video did well for him.
Mm-hmm. So
that was one of our higher content. I guess you put the word Chatgpt in the subject because that was one of our better videos too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we just become an AI reselling podcast and
AI informants.
That's right.
Stuart, take us on a virtual tour of Chatgpt. Let's go.
I've used Chatgpt for a little more every day. So I've been having it write social media captions lately, and instead of using Google Lens, I now use it for research at the thrift shops and stuff. I just
do you use it that way?
Yeah, and it does a lot better job than Google Lens because it'll tell you more about it, and I just Google Lens just brings you links to sites. The Chatgpt actually explains what it is, and it's pretty good. Pretty good at it based on a picture.
Let's go back at it though from how much it cost you a month and your value. $20 a month.
So I'm spending $20 a month, and it's definitely increased my listing volume. The ability to quickly roll out listings. And, and of course, we're using it for a lot of other stuff in our personal life too, as far as like getting forms for some legal related things and stuff of that nature. So, and it does a really good job if you like specifically say, I need information on, applying for TennCare Medicaid assistance in Tennessee, what I need to do. And it rattles off exactly what you need to do and ask if you want it to print any forms. And so there's a lot you can do with it in life. But
Stuart,
so
do you
far,
also use it to turn your photos into Muppet photos?
I have not done that yet, but
Because that is what I do with it.
well, we did generate a logo with it, so our logo right over here. But
which it's pretty close.
I do use Chatgpt when it gets slow when I'm working at Granny's attic to do stuff like this, though.
There you go.
So that was the three of us who were behind the counter one day and did a really good job there. And then I had it write a song called Granny's Attic Blues.
Oh.
And it actually brought back the whole thing with guitar tabs and everything. If you can.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to sing it, but the first verse, this is in the key of a G, I think. Granny's Attic Blues. Bobby's in the back with a stack of old signs. Stuart's by the front fixing crooked lines. Granny's attic comes on a Saturday morn with the smell of mothballs and vinyl well worn. And then you got verse 2, 50s toaster, a velvet clown, a Civil War photo with the date rubbed down. There's treasures galore in these dusty booths where the price tags lie, but the stories tell truths.
No.
So, and then it goes on. But it did. I mean, I just told it to write a song about Granny's Attic Antiques, and I told it to mention like me and Bobby, the guy I was working with, and it came up with the whole song with guitar chords. So if I played the guitar, I would sing it for you. But so yeah, you can use it for all kinds of things, both productive and fun.
Productive and fun,
or just if you're looking to waste time. So.
But just don't say please and thank you, because you're costing the corporation millions of dollars.
I always say please and thank you.
Oh, did you see that they said the owner or like with the CEO said that people saying thank you and please is costing the company millions of dollars because it's got to process the please and the thank you?
It's going to go up to $29.99 a month for saying please and thank you.
Those are some expensive jingles.
I'm going to just ask it. Well, here was its response. It says, nope, saying please and thank you doesn't cost anything. And if anything, it saves a lot in the long run. In business and in life, those small courtesies build trust, respect, and goodwill. Whether you're dealing with customers, coworkers, in-laws, podcast host, or the person making your coffee, showing a little gratitude and basic politeness often leads to smoother relationships, better outcomes, and fewer headaches. So no, it doesn't cost millions. It actually might be one of the best free investments you can make. So that's words of wisdom from Chatgpt.
Thank you for reading that.
What about the corporate answer?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say I heard a rumor.
So, Johnny, while he's looking that up, are you thinking about coming over to Greenville?
Ooh, that might be tricky. We're starting to get into the heart of football season.
Yeah, that's the thing that I wondered. I'm like, that's in September, and that's like the third week in September. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday through the end of the year, or September through the end of the year gets a little tricky. I know October, the Bills are in Atlanta and Carolina, so I'd like to go to both of those. Mm-hmm. And with it being the last year of the old stadium, I got to get up there before that shuts down, and I'd rather do that in September than December.
Yeah, you don't want to shovel 2 feet of snow to get to your seat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it came back with a big long answer and basically said that in theory it might be costing the company a little bit because every other word does add up at a scale. It said, if you really want to conserve computing power, you could say weather NYC tomorrow, but that's a pretty dull way to live, it says. So it says, so be polite.
Stuart, how's the calm after the storm? The wedding has settled, it is gone. Did they get back from their honeymoon safely? Are they still on it?
They did. They got back last Friday, and they had a great time. They were in Italy for 2 weeks. They just missed being in Rome while the conclave was going on. They decided on the Pope so quick, they missed that. But they did get to go to the Sistine Chapel. So, but yeah, they had a good time. So we need to hurry up and get this thing monetized so I can help pay for that next wedding. I might be able to pay for like a mint or something.
Extra coronations on the tables.
So how things been going in the reselling world with y'all?
It's been weird. Like 2 weeks ago was like one of the best weeks ever, and then this past weekend kind of stunk. So you can't ride the highs too high or the lows too low, but it was a little disappointing.
How about you, Wes?
Weekend.
Same. Very, very slow.
I mean, I
don't know
it's
why.
Been okay. It's been okay. I've been pretty steady, but steady at a low volume. I mean, I've been having sales every day. And I mean, there've been some not huge sales, but $30, $40, $50 range.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know May's one of the slower months. So
we had, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we shipped out 43 eBay orders from the weekend, and this past weekend we shipped out 20. So it was quite a drop off. Poshmark was
drop.
Yeah, Poshmark was the same, give or take one or two, and Mercari doesn't count. It's never a lot.
Yeah, my Poshmark, I mean, of course, I used to not promote, and I did okay, and then I started promoting and did about the same. So I quit promoting and then didn't sell anything. So I started promoting again and was just basically giving them money to make a couple of sales a week. So I quit promoting again, and now I don't sell anything. And Poshmark constantly pops up, promoted closets on average sell this much more. And I'm thinking, but you're wanting me to spend this much. And I mean, I'm not making that many in sales when I do promote. So I took all the Poshmark promoting money, I threw it over to eBay, and I do seem to get a better bang for my buck. I know part of it's the kind of stuff I sell, since I don't sell a lot of clothing. Yeah,
it's a little tougher. We've never tried to promote on Posh just because 20% seems like more than enough for their services. But can you set an amount, or is it like a flat, you just promote on or off?
No, you set a daily budget, and I think it's a daily budget. It's either daily or weekly, but of course, it always, for a closet your size, we recommend promoting at some astronomical amount per day. So yeah, I mean it adds up. I think so the last time I turned it on, I thought, one time I'm gonna give it a month, and I'm gonna promote at the level they recommend I do. Maybe that turns on some magic switch. No, it just sent a lot of money to them. And I gave it a little over a month. I think I gave it a month and a half, and finally just said, I'm just going to turn it off and use that money elsewhere.
Well, that's what, I even laugh when eBay gives you their recommended rates, and I'm like, I am not promoting at 19.5%. Nice try, eBay.
How often do you promote, Johnny?
So we typically will get it up to 200, 250 listings that are eligible to be promoted, and then we'll turn them on. So we tried to give them a chance to sell without any promotions or fees or anything like that. And then we used to promote at 6%. I think the minimum's 2%, and we've been doing 3%.
Yeah, I do 5% when I do promote, and I mean, once again, if you could ever crack eBay's algorithm, I guess you'd be rich because you sit there and you do everything they tell you to do, and then you search for something you have, and there'll be 32 listings above you that aren't promoted. They've got a blurry picture. It'll be a picture turned sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know what pushes you higher.
And then they'll push you higher if you have free returns on, and all these different things. So
But I have all that on, and and a lot of times I'm still not, on the top part of the page. So I don't,
yeah.
I don't
And how
really
does that weight?
understand.
Like, if you have free returns, like what percentage promote equivalence is that? You know what I mean? Because then if you're promoting and doing everything that they want you to do and same day shipping and everything that they ideally would want you to do, like, where does that put me?
Well, and then I also can't figure out. So definitely not everything I sell is from a promoted listing, but it seems like it's about half and half. And I always just wonder, does eBay just randomly, just so you think, oh, they don't always make you pay the promoted fee. Sometimes people find stuff on their own. Do they just flip a coin on have a random number generator on everyone that, sometime they say it was promoted, sometime they don't, I don't know. It's,
well, that never really made sense to me either. Like, if you find my item, is it because it was promoted? I mean, technically, if it's promoted and you found it because it was promoted, or say you have something that's one of a kind, but you promote it anyways. Like, did they find this one of a kind item because it was promoted or because it was a one of a kind? Like, I don't.
You're never really going to know. I mean,
no. But I do worry, like, with postal rates continuing to go up, I do worry about that, and cutting into how high you can list certain things for.
Yeah, aren't they going up again in July?
Yeah.
Although I did read, and I think we may have mentioned this last episode, that the percentage increase for commercial rates is not going to be that high. Like the over-the-counter rates are going up quite a bit, but the commercial rates like eBay and Pirate Ship and all those, we're not going to have that big a percentage increase.
I do, and it's pain. Like, when we go and take our packages to the post office, it's painful. Like, as a reseller and knowing, like, Pirate Ship and stuff like that, and you just see somebody, like, packaging up, like, a large flat rate box. And, they're just putting, like, there was one guy there last week, and he was just putting vintage T-shirts in it. And he was just loading it into a flat rate priority box, and you're like, what, that's like $27, and you're like, oh god, no, don't do that. And like, our post office guys are awesome, but like, they're only gonna kind of work with you so much on that. Like, if that's the box you want to use, like, use it. But you're just like, oh my god, Pirate Ship, throw that in a poly, come on, man.
Or even the calculated retail counter rate for just a regular weighed box would probably be a lot less than $27.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, you'll see somebody take a box up there that probably weighs 2 pounds, and the counter rate, because I think you typically are saving about 50% or more.
Yeah.
When you're buying it online. So yeah, people are paying. I get it. If you're not shipping stuff out very often, I mean, it's and you don't have any way to print a label or don't, but. Yeah, I do the same thing. I stand in line and hear them tell somebody how much it costs. I'm like, golly.
Well, even because we use calculated shipping. So, like, if we ship something to, like, 2 pounds to California, it's like almost $17. And then we just throw it in a padded flat rate for $9.50 and say thanks for the $7.
Well, with Ground Advantage, when I ship to California, like a 2 or 3 pound box is usually like $10. Priority mail would be a lot more than that. Pretty much use Ground Advantage for everything. The only time I don't use Ground Advantage is Poshmark because it's automatically priority mail.
Yeah.
And then Whatnot because if it's under £5, well, if it's between 1 and 5, then it's priority mail. And then Etsy, if somebody requests priority mail, I mean they're paying shipping on Etsy, so whatever they request, I use.
It's amazing from doing this for so long, like how much you just inherently know about shipping.
Yeah, and I'll sit there. I mean, it's so second nature, and I don't know. I think back to even when I started, I don't ever remember thinking it was that complicated. But that's just a concept that so many people struggle with. Whether it's now, why can't I use this kind of box with they'll constantly use flat rate boxes with Ground Advantage or or put a flat rate sticker on a regular box or whatever.
Yep.
It's just not that complicated, I don't think. But, like I said, we've been doing it so long that it is just kind of second nature. So, I guess I can see where it could be confusing. So
we sold something last month for Lizzie's aunt, and it was like a bracelet that she had. And we were like, hey, it's sold on, because we list her stuff on eBay and Poshmark because she's got like high-end jewelry and purses and stuff. So she sold a bracelet and we were like, hey, here's she bought a little scale and she tells us what it weighs. And then we go on pirate ship and make the label and send it to her just to, save her shipping and stuff. So we did it and she's like, okay, I'm going to take it. And then the next day, she's like, I went to the post office and they had this cute, perfect little box. And so I used that. I hope it's okay. And we weren't thinking much of it. And then 2 weeks later, we got a charge adjustment because she had used a small flat rate. And we were like, no, don't use the cute small box. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It was like a $5 difference, but she's just thinking oh, this is the kind of box we were looking for.
What you been doing, Wes? You haven't talked much so far.
Last Friday, I did go to a couple of estate sales. I found a few things. One estate sale in particular I went to, though, man, they had a lot of really good stuff. And there was, of course, when you see people walking out and don't have anything in their hands, there's a problem. So I walked in, I thought, let's see how long this takes. And I walked into the bottom part of the house, and then I started up the stairs, and they had this stack of video games. They had Wii games for $20 a piece. I immediately turned around, walked right back down the stairs, and walked right back out.
I've been working on trying to up my social media game. My goal is to post a reel every day. So,
ooh, man,
I'm now at 6 straight days, I think. So
I see where you pulled one off of our recording when you were talking about
pulled a couple off. Yeah,
or the soup or whatever it was.
I put that one on, I think, on YouTube. The rest I've been putting on Instagram, and I had one. So my views are from when I started, I had 348 on one, 229, 250. Then I had over 3,000 on one video, and I thought, hey, I'm making progress here, going viral. Then I went back down to.
Go ahead.
And then I went back down to 369, then 230, and the one that was 230, I thought, man, this one's a cool one. It's going to get a lot of views. I mean, it was the Wizard Blacklight poster. I thought it had a catchy little title and everything, but it didn't really.
See,
and then the one
you need to go over to the Sunsphere and do one of those too. See.
Yeah, just to copy you so I can get
Just copy me verbatim. Let's watch what happens. Compare and contrast.
You need to do day in the life of the booth.
Yeah.
Or have people fake steal things.
Yeah.
And then catch them.
All right, Stuart, we need to get together and do our Beanie Baby drop off again.
We do, and of course I forgot to give you money for the Beanie Babies when we ate lunch, so that's okay. It's sitting in an investment fund. Interest. Yeah, it's sitting in an investment fund. I'm making money off of it, so
yeah. Well,
I think I've made 32 cents so far.
Well, keep going, man.
Is that code for it's in the smoky piggy bank? It's in Slugger.
Yeah, it's back there. All my money's stuck in Slugger.
Still trying to unlock the magic potion for, what makes different reels go viral. Like my most popular reel of all time was still the one just me. It was at the 129 yard sale a couple of years ago, and I just saw an old phone and I picked it up and dialed my home phone number. And I think I said, who remembers their home phone number? I mean, it got like 12,000 views or something, but that's
I think it's a lot of where it just hits people in that. Oh yeah, I remember that. If you can hit them in that way, I guess. If it means something to them, and they connect with it.
Well, it's like the one I posted today. I was at the thrift shop and found a bunch of cool T-shirts. So while I was there, I just kind of showed them all, and then I sped it up a little bit so it went a little faster and added a cool song behind it. And I mean, it looked. I thought it would, at least do okay. And it's only got 56 views, from when I posted it. But I mean, it's kind of like these podcast episodes. There's really seems to be no rhyme or reason as to when one catches on. So
you just need to do one where you bust Amy stealing from your booth and just say, "I caught this Karen red-handed stealing from my booth." People love the use of Karen in their titles.
Drop Karen. Now this one definitely needs a little Chatgpt in it. In the title again.
Yeah, we'll do an experiment. We'll make sure we have Chatgpt in the title, and we'll see how many views we get. So, and that's not just
Chatgpt Chronicles,
and it's not just clickbait because we actually did talk about Chatgpt. So, but if it works, we'll just put Chatgpt in the title of every one, and just make sure we mention it in passing at least during the episode.
At least in the first 5 minutes, mention it.
So the title should be, "This podcast is completely AI," and then put all the dots so it doesn't show up in the screen, and then put "just kidding." But if somebody was going and scrolling, on Amazon or Apple TV, it would just say, "This podcast is completely AI."
Hey everyone, you're not really watching us right now. We're all AI generated.
Well, that is an interesting concept for an episode. We can have Chatgpt and we can just drive the whole podcast on what it tells us to talk about. We can just say, "Hey, we're starting the podcast now. What's the first thing we should talk about?" And or we can even ask us, "What exactly should we say?" And then we can just read it off.
Oh, and for the record, I put in write a dialogue for a reselling podcast, and it said podcast title, Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. And then it said episode title, episode 64, Thrift Store Gold or Bust. And that was without me using Finders Flippers in what I wrote.
Well,
but have 65, isn't it?
I didn't know. Have you asked it anything about previous episodes?
But it does have the podcast only being two people. One person's name is Jack, and the other one is Lena. So it's host one, Jack, and it says, "Hey everyone, welcome back to Finders Flippers, the podcast where we dig through the junk to find the gems and resell them for cash. I'm Jack."
Let's do it.
And then it says, "I'm Lena. Today's episode is a wild one. We hit up 3 thrift stores in one day, and you won't believe what we found. Plus, we're talking about what sells right now and what to avoid, like expired printer ink." For the record, Chatgpt, you don't necessarily have to avoid expired printer ink.
Okay, here's what it told me to say. It said, "Wes," and it got the names right probably because since I asked it for descriptions and titles. So, "Hey Wes, you've got that look like you're about to tell us how you almost bought a taxidermy alligator again."
So I do have a subject I want to ask you, and Stuart, you deal with a lot of records, and I know when you get them, are they all in decent condition when you buy them, or do some of them have like some mold on them and stuff? And
Well, I have bought like whole collections where I've had to get rid of some because they would have like mold where they'd been in a basement or something. But I mean, I typically I'm not necessarily dealing in like all mint records. I mean, if I put them at the booth, I mean, I'm putting $8 on it, and it can have a few scratches or whatever, and they seem to sell okay.
well, let me show you this one.
Hey,
Monkeys, okay. Hey, with the monkeys. Now here's the back of it.
Yeah.
Kind of rough shape. Okay. I kept this open so you can see it.
Yeah, that one, I don't know that I'd sell that one.
Well, I'm just saying, is it now? Obviously, you could throw this away.
Yeah, and then there's not much.
Can't you buy though, like the plastic insert to put the record in the sleeve?
Yeah,
How do you fix that?
I don't think there's any fixing that mold. So,
I've seen some things online like 1 part alcohol, 3 or 4 parts water.
Yeah, but when it's on cardboard like that, that's going to probably stain the cardboard. I don't know. Does anybody know who's watching? Can you fix mold on cardboard? I don't know that you could, but if they're real moldy like that. I mean, I've had like some that would have just maybe a little like mold dust or something.
Mm-hmm. You can wipe some of it.
Yeah, and as long as I can like clean it up to where, it doesn't look like a health hazard, then
put it in the booth. What does that sell for?
Yeah, I mean, like that one there, like I said, it's in bad enough shape. I would probably just get rid of it.
Toss that and just keep the record, I guess.
Yeah, and I have done that. Like I had some Led Zeppelin albums that were in a big collection I bought that were all in a basement, and it just happened. All the Led Zeppelin albums, the covers were moldy and stuff like that. They'd gotten wet. So yeah, on those, like most records, I would just get rid of the whole thing. But I figured those Led Zeppelin records would probably sell just for the vinyl.
But can't you can clean the record, right?
Yeah, you can clean the vinyl. So I was
just curious about that because I'd come across a few of these and I was like, man, that's the monkeys. It's really neat. I had another one too.
Like this one pre-owned is selling for $299. There's another one for $465. So I don't know that it's worth your time to even try to clean it,
Yeah.
And what I've found with records, like if you look up most records, unless they're sealed or like, mint or a certain pressing, I mean, online, yeah, most records are not going to sell for that much. But I can put records like that. I mean, assuming they're in decent condition, like the monkeys at the booth, and I'll put $8 on it and somebody will buy it. I probably wouldn't be able to get that if I sold it online, but it's the whole kind of impulse buy.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned before, I mean, for the most part, I price all my albums at $8. Some might be worth a little more. Some might be worth a little less. But I have a lot of regulars who come in and they go through the records every time they come in. And, by doing that, they know the reason they keep coming back is because, hey, I found this, cool record for $8. And, it's probably a $16 record or something. But
well, I would venture to say your records are not like when you go into Goodwill, because we all go in there and we see the same records, stacks upon stacks.
Well, yeah, that's because it's like, the so-and-so big band orchestra and Johnny Mathis Christmas album. And
right.
Yeah, and those, I just quit putting anything like that at my booth. Like if I happen to buy a collection that's got those just go straight in the Goodwill donation bin.
Well, like when I come across these monkeys things, though, I think those are worth it, and I thought about giving it a try to at least try to clean it somehow. I don't know how, and I'm glad you posed that question to everybody, because somebody may be able to point me in the right direction and see how I could deal with that, if I can at all. I may not be able to.
I mean, I pick up any record that's even if it's on the fringes of, rock and roll, like, Peter, Paul, and Mary. I mean, those will sell as well in my booth. It's just, the ones that don't sell are all the classical and the real like easy listening.
Right.
They,
I mean, I've come across Mamas and the Papas and just
and those definitely
really
sell. So
like here's one I got the other day, the Carpenters.
Yeah.
So you ever heard of this group? The Hollies?
Yeah. Bus stop. I mean, the Hollies' biggest songs were probably Bus Stop and what Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress.
Yeah. Yep. That was probably their best one.
Have you heard of the Hollies, Johnny?
No, but I've heard of those songs.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't say like, oh, that's the Hollies.
Right.
I was trying to look up more of what they sang, but between Bus Stop and the other one you said, I was familiar.
Long Cool.
Woman in a Black Dress.
Yeah, that one's not on here.
Yeah, that was a little later than the Bus Stop song. I mean, like 80s music to Johnny probably seems like ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah. What color was the grass when everything was in black and white?
Here you go,
you guys
Johnny.
just wake up one day and everything was in color?
Yeah. Hey, we're
the Hollies were
the MTV generation, Johnny. We brought MTV.
Oh, is that what it is? Remote control?
Yeah.
Can't do that on television?
Hey, that was a solid album there, that first Lionel Richie album.
Yep.
Like every song on it was a hit. What has it got? Like Say You, Say Me? Is that on there?
Serves You Right, Wandering Stranger, Tell Me My Love.
I love
Round and Round, Truly. Remember Truly?
Truly, yeah.
You mean the more to me. Just put some loving in your heart.
You are the sun. That was that one,
You
right?
are the rain. Yeah.
Can we talk about how weird Hello, the music video is?
Yeah, where he's doing that sculpture. Did you see that? Was it Jimmy Fallon that did the skit with him where Lionel Richie's head was sticking out the table?
Yeah. What was that all about, man? In this, I don't have it with it right now, but the inside jacket that holds the record, he's laying down on a basketball gym floor. And if you remember Michael Jackson, his album, if you open it up, you can see him. He was laying the exact same pose. It's like, hey, Lionel, what should I do?
Wasn't he with a tiger or something, though?
Yeah, he had a little, I think it was a white tiger with him, a little cub. But Lionel was just laying on a gym floor. You could see the wood pieces and stuff. Or maybe it was a dance floor. Who knows?
Yeah, what year did you graduate from high school, Johnny? Try to get a
01.
Yeah, so you're more like a 90s music, I guess.
Yeah. But I had my sisters are older. Like my sisters are 6 and 8 years older.
Yeah.
So young, I still picked up a lot of like 80s.
Well, it's like my son. He's an old soul because I played a lot of 70s, 80s music for him. And every time he comes on, he'll say, oh, that's so-and-so. So it's like he was in the 70s and 80s. But that's all I listened to when he was growing up.
I think a lot of kids nowadays listen to the 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
So like my parents are young compared to like us, right? Like they're not. My parents had us in their teens and early 20s. So like my sisters liked 80s music. My dad likes classic rock. And then he also listened to like Sinatra because that's what my grandfather listened to. So we really covered all genres.
Well, Sinatra comes into play every New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, because it strikes me.
Yeah, my parents were always acted older and like hung out with older people. So, I mean, I can remember they never listened to anything contemporary, like music wise. It was, I mean, we'd go to the beach, so like a 10-hour drive to Florida. And Dad would listen to WEZK, for as long as we could get in. I don't know if you remember that station, Wes. It was like it was the elevator music station in Knoxville.
It's like
playing instrumental
62.1 or something.
Yeah, and I mean, my brothers and I would just be like, and that was before you had a Walkman or anything. So you're kind of forced to listen to this music. And I mean, we were always like, man, I would fall asleep within the first 5 minutes of leaving the driveway if I had to listen to that.
Well, I remember we used to go to Panama City. It was a 12-hour drive, 12, 14 hours. And of course, now there was a bunch of us in the car and, I have to go to the restaurant.
Back when we were young, it was gravel. It was gravel both ways, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, you get down to
it was uphill both ways,
Georgia,
too.
wherever it was like, it does drop down to a 2-lane road. It did.
Yeah.
Back until, 15, 20 years ago. And then they finally 4-laned it. And now it's like a 7.5-hour drive. It's not bad at all.
And by 15, 20 years ago, he means 40.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, because when you're going to the Panhandle, you have to get off the interstate. We always got off at Floamington exit, I think it was, to go to Pensacola. I don't know if that's the same one you get off for Panama City, but yeah, you're right. It was always like 2 lanes, and the speed limit was like 45 or something.
We used to go. We went down through Eufaula and all that down that way. But we still do. But going through Eufaula is really. It's a neat little drive. It's got a section that you drive through. There's actually a really good Goodwill there, by the way. You blow through there at the right time. You can find some good stuff. But I think part of a Sweet Home Alabama, that movie that had Reese Witherspoon in it, they filmed some of it there, and they used some of these houses, and you drive right through the main drag of Eufaula, and there's on both sides of the road these really neat houses. And everybody's just going through there like 10, 15 miles an hour, just looking at every house through there. It's really neat. But it's right on the main drag as you're heading to Panama City.
We went to Eufaula 2 or 3 summers in a row and rented a house on the lake. So
it's a big lake. Mm-hmm. That is a very big lake.
Visit eufaula.com.
For sure. And go to the Goodwill.
Move over Knoxville.
So yeah, Johnny, your point to the meetup coming into Greenville, that's going to be an interesting time of year to do that.
Yeah. It is definitely intriguing, and I'll have to look at the exact schedule and dates, but fall's tough.
Well, it didn't. It at least worked out good for me to go, because if they had done it a week later, I would not have been able to go, because that's the weekend of the Fall Festival in Clinton. And I mean, I'll have to be there to work.
Didn't you miss it last year? I thought you missed it last year.
No, I actually made it to the Fall Festival last year, I think. I missed the Spring Festival this year because of Jenna's wedding. And I have missed.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But I think I missed a couple of fall weddings in a row, because we would have I can't even remember what all would be going on, but it was always like when somebody was getting married or graduating or whatever. The Spring Festival may have been graduations, but
when was the one you had? You had like a storm come through and blew all the vendors stuff.
That was the Fall Festival last year on Friday night. I mean, it was like perfectly clear. Then all of a sudden, it's just like this black cloud formed over downtown Clinton. And speaking of, they got some pretty strong storms up in Clinton and Oak Ridge today. Amy was at work and said it was kind of scary. I guess
there's supposed to be some more coming through tonight.
Yeah, I think the ones coming tonight are stronger, so we'll see. Hopefully, because that was terrible what happened in London, Kentucky. My prayers and thoughts are certainly with those people. They
definitely prayers for them.
Man, their town just got In fact, we had
upgraded it to an F4 today. Did you see that?
Oh, wow. Well, I know Saturday when I was working at Granny's, we had 2 different people come in from London who, I think both of them said their house was not damaged, but they said the destruction of the town was just so bad and they had to just get out of town, just to get away from it.
I think they said where the biggest part of the debris field is, they asked people to stay away, especially while these storms are coming through, because they're afraid all that debris will just start flying again. They think it's going to be some more bad storms coming through.
Well, I saw a radar picture. I guess it was the tornado was on the ground so long, they showed this picture from a satellite. Not a radar, from a satellite. And they showed the before and they showed the after, and you could see like this perfectly straight line, where I guess everything, all the trees and everything had blown down, and it would just look like somebody had taken and drawn a line on the ground. That's one thing I hope I never experience. I mean, we had one 2 or 3 years ago now that came through our neighborhood, but it was on the back side of the neighborhood, and I didn't even realize anything was happening up where I was, but it did quite a bit of damage. I mean, it tore up the road behind us real bad, and a lot of houses on that. But
Stuart, that meetup in Greenville, is that Mike Mecco and Mary McQueen? Are they putting that together along with who?
The Rocky Top Picker, I think, is the one.
Rocky Top Picker. I think that's where he's from.
Yeah, I think he's the one. It looked like Mary had posted like the event on the Locker Room podcast page, so Mary must be helping them coordinate it.
We had talked to her about that too, coordinating one for Knoxville.
Yeah.
If we get Molly involved, which, by the way, Molly, did you see where you'd put that video up, that little thing talking about the chili or the soup or whatever it was, and then she said, "Oh, you all are leaving Wes out again."
Yeah,
I was actually in the video though.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm in the video. Can you not see me?" But I like on that StreamYard. I like how they do that. You can pull little videos up and use those.
And that's basically, I found a tool that does that, for any existing YouTube videos is how I was doing that. But
that Greenville is, how far is it from you guys?
Like an hour. Like a little over an hour.
Northeast toward you, actually.
It's towards Bristol.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite a bit closer. It's like 3.5 hours from me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like halfway between here and Bristol, so off I-81. So you would have kind of like before they opened back up 40, you would have come past it probably
and come down.
So,
and that's actually how we went home.
Oh, up 81 to. I think to get to Greensboro, it's like, because I know when I've done the GPS, even before the interstate was closed, it would say like similar ETA to go either way, whether you go 81 and cut through Virginia or whatever, or go 40 all the way. Because 40 goes all the way to Greensboro, right? Or pretty close.
Yep.
I hate any trip where you're on the same road the whole time, though. It just gets boring. I mean, it needs to at least change road names or something. So,
I'll look at it and I'll compare it to just the bill schedule, and maybe we can venture over.
Okay. Well, like I said, as of now, I'm planning to go and I'm planning to stay in the room, but
if I go, I'll probably come up on Saturday.
Yeah. Amy may go too, so I don't know. I know like when we went to Phoenix for the List Perfectly thing, and the time you really got to talk to everybody's at night in the lobby of the hotel, since during the day you're doing thrifting and all that kind of stuff. And
I was laughing. I was talking to Rocky Top at the event, and he was like, "Everyone thinks I live in Knoxville because I'm the Rocky Top Picker." He's like, "But I'm like on the outskirts."
Tennessee is the state team for Tennessee, so it's not just people in Knoxville. But
which I did.
Rocky Tops.
Yeah, I did talk to him and told him he needed to come on and join us one night. He said he would. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got. We have a guest Sunday, right?
Yeah, Keith Vintage Sports Flips. I'm excited about that. He does obviously vintage sports stuff, but it's cool because he'll do like jerseys and starter jackets and pennants and stuff like that. So I don't know that we've had anybody like a true sports reseller on before.
Yeah,
so.
that will be interesting. I know all of us kind of touch on the fringes of selling some sports stuff, but certainly none of us focus on it. So yeah, I think that episode
behind you.
Yeah. So that means that episode would drop on the 28th, I think, then, because this episode should be out. I know you got to edit it, Wes, but usually that come out on Wednesday. So assuming you get editing, it'll come out on the 21st. And then, so check us out on the 28th. That should be a fun guest.
Mm-hmm.
I have to start coming up with my list of questions.
And then we have our live. When do we have that scheduled?
June
Next Sunday, right?
Yeah, week. So it'll be June the 1st. That's when we said the live was going to be. So we got a busy next couple of weeks. So we got this episode that'll come out on the 21st. Then our episode, you said it's Keith?
Yeah.
With Keith will be the 28th. And then we'll have our live on the 1st. So then we're actually on with the $1 Million Peddlers over on their channel. And that's a live show, I believe, on June 4th. So maybe we'll drop one of our origin episodes for the 4th for us, since we won't really have a chance to record necessarily if we're going to do the live.
When we're on $1 Million Peddlers, that we can push it to our YouTube channel at the same time.
I'll ask him. I think if he enables it, because I know that there's something you had to do. I know, like, for us to stream it, I can't remember what it is. There's
we need to figure that out. That way we can get the credit for, a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll ask if he's agreeable to that. So
I don't know why he wouldn't be.
No, it should just give him more reach, I would think. So yeah, what is it you have to do on that? It's once you have the link for the live, you go into your StreamYard, and it seems like there is some security thing he would have to do on his side. I'll Google it, because it was real easy to do. I know, because I know Johnny and I have both done that with our lives. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go into the link you sent for the live, and you said those links you sent. The first one was Keith, and the second one was the live, right?
Right.
I'll go into that live link and see what it does. When I try to share it, see if it. I mean, I'm probably already configured, but we'll figure it out, and then I'll reach out to him. We got a couple weeks.
So I asked Chatgpt if Wes from the Slim Flippers, who is undecided about showing his interview with Stuart from Franklin Hill Ventures, and what Chatgpt thought about it. And Chatgpt said, if Wes from the Slim Flippers is undecided about showing the interview with Stuart from Franklin Hill Ventures, here are a few things to consider to help him make the call. There are 5 things. Would you like me to give you those 5 things?
Sure. I'd like to know if I'm going to be on.
Number 1, unique value. If Stuart shares insights that are uncommon or highly actionable, especially around sourcing, scaling, or niche markets, it could be a standout episode. 2, audience interest. If Franklin Hill Ventures is known or respected in the reselling entrepreneur space, it could attract new viewers and build credibility for Wes's brand.
You have to bring intrinsic value from me, Stuart. That's just the way it's going to work.
So there's also content variety, cross-promotion, and long-term ROI, but it also does give 3 reasons that maybe Wes should possibly hold off.
What are the reasons?
Number 1, low energy or weak content. If the interview felt flat, lacked useful insights, or meandered too much, Wes could consider trimming it down or editing it for clarity or pacing. Also, if it's off-brand, if Stuart's message or tone doesn't align with the Slim Flippers vibes or values, Wes might want to skip it or frame it in a way that manages expectations. And then the third reason he may possibly want to hold off on airing that episode, audience fit. If Franklin Hill Ventures focuses on areas that Wes's audience doesn't care about, like venture capital versus grassroots flipping, the content might not resonate.
See, that was everything I was thinking, Johnny. My whole brain.
Sounds like you need to record an introduction disclaimer at the beginning and say, we have nothing else to show this week, so we're going to show you this interview
at
with
this
Stuart.
time, we were going to show Stuart's origin episode, but due to Chatgpt, we're not going to say.
It does give a final suggestion, though. If after all that, Wes is still unsure, he could test a teaser clip from the interview on Instagram or YouTube Shorts. Gauge response. If people comment or engage, then it's a strong sign it's worth releasing the full episode. So there you have it, Wes. Put it into a short.
Well,
and see how it does.
Hopefully this will record for my short content. If you all want me to air Stuart's Origins episode where we come together, let me know and we will try to put that out.
Would you like help drafting a caption or teaser clip title for the interview? In the words of Stuart, yes, please.
Yes, please. We would appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Here are a few caption and teaser titles. His number one tip for flipping smarter in 2025. If Stuart shared a bold opinion or hot take, I don't know, Wes, I don't remember if he shared a bold opinion or
it wasn't in 2025, so we're already at a disadvantage. So
the title could be, "This might be a controversial take," with the emoji. Or did he share his backstory or growth journey?
I did.
If that's the case, then the title must be "From Side Hustle to Six Figures: How He Did It."
There you go. That's a good title.
Side hustle to six figures.
And then in the caption,
does that count the decimal point? Numbers after the decimal point. So.
Your caption is, "Stuart built Franklin Hill Ventures from scratch. Want to hear the full journey? Think of dropping the full convo on the podcast." There you go.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll leave it up to the viewers. If we can get at least, how many you think, Johnny? How many people? 2, maybe 3 to say yes or no?
Yes. If the yeses are higher than the no's, can we get some no's in the comments?
Yeah,
it's like the Larry the Lobster on Saturday Night Live when they voted whether to cook him or something. Or
if you all want to see a younger Stuart, let us know.
That was like 2 years ago almost, wasn't it, Wes?
Yeah, it was. Wow. It'd be interesting to see what we look like.
I was young and foolish back then.
It's a wild stallion.
So we're at episode 65 today. Wow. Hey, we've reached, it used to be it's 67 and a half now, right? Full retirement, whatever. I don't know. Stuart.
Full retirement's 72, isn't it? No, 68. 68, I think, or something.
I won't make that.
67 and a half. I don't know.
See, I like when they think you work your whole life thinking, "Oh, it's going to be great, 62," and then they bump it to 65. Now it just keeps closer. I get to the end, it keeps rising.
But if you look, the difference in what you make isn't that substantial, and you've also got to think, well, I'll get more money when I'm 65, but that's 3 years of not taking it either. So, it's, once you hit 70, you can actually make as much money as you want as well, and get your full retirement benefit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because before 70, you can only earn up to, 20 something thousand. Then they start
dinging
quarter for every $2 or something like that, or something like that. I can't remember.
So it's past 70 years old, then you can.
Yeah, then you can be raking the big bucks in and also draw your full Social Security. So.
Wow.
Oh man, the good life.
13 more years for me. Or actually, just 12 more years.
There's your retirement tip of the day.
Wow. That really sounds old when I say I'll be 70 in 12 years.
Yeah, it's over, buddy. Sorry.
Oh man. So how old are you right now, Johnny?
I'll be 42.
Okay. So look at it this way, Stuart. He'll be at 50 before you're 70.
If that makes you feel better.
Does that make you feel better? It doesn't make Johnny feel better, but Johnny's like, wait a minute.
Well, as time goes on and our fonts get larger, we'll know it's because you guys are aging.
Yeah, and we're wearing big old glasses.
I already can't read without glasses. That's the whole concept of reading glasses. I can remember when I was young and I just could not comprehend how you couldn't see something up close. I mean, how's that even possible that you can't see something close to your eyes? And I really get it now. So 'cause I can't see anything if I don't have my reading glasses on.
Yep.
I look forward to the part of the podcast where you guys are talking into the microphone like this because you can't see, so you're just
What'd
talking into the camera.
Is this thing on? That'll be around episode 748.
Hopefully, we'll be monetized by then.
Here's hoping.
Well, let's see. There's 52 episodes a year, roughly. So 12 more years. How many is that? Well, that's
I'm not far off, am I?
600 episodes, roughly, for 12 years. So.
The final episode will be Johnny inherits the Beanie Babies.
I'll have them in a box. Johnny, he wanted you to have these. Well, this has been a fun one, gentlemen. It's good to see you again. We are at, what is this, episode 65? Yeah.
Yep, it's full retirement age now. Or
That's right.
Traditional retirement age, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah. Traditional retirement age episode. Well, that is all the time we have this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode 65, gentlemen.
Yep, it was a fun one. And we made sure we mentioned Chatgpt. Hopefully that'll drive our engagement up. So looking forward to having Keith on next week. And then we got our live coming up in just a week and a half now. So
yeah, coming soon.
Exciting stuff.
Looking forward to it.
You guys are still here? Why? Get out.